On the previous video, we already implemented this file upload, right? So basically we can drag and drop any image or even video and upload that file into the upload things, right? For now, we have this one file, which is image, and then this is going to be rendered right here. And then for the data, we already stored that on the PostgreSQL using Prisma, right? So now I'm going to show you how to delete the file, which is image or video. When I delete this image, for example, it will be delete the data on the database and also will be delete the file on the upload things as well. So that's what we're going to learn in this video. Let's get started. First, I'm going to open this code. You can just clone the code or just watching my previous video. I'm going to put all the link on the description. Right, so I'm going to add a delete button right here, basically under this file preview. What I'm going to do, let's see here, right under this name, which is this name right here, I'm going to add delete button. So I'm going to paste this button right here, really simple. As you can see, this button that have this class name. And also when I click this button, it basically will run the handle delete function. As you can see, I paste u.id parameters. So let's take a look here. I'm going to create that first, const handle delete, so equals to arrow function like this. And basically I'm going to grab the ID, and the ID should be string, right? So for now, I'm just going to select the ID like this. Let's take a look at the result. Here I'm going to just refresh to make sure everything is clean. I hope we not see any error. Cool. So now, as you can see, if I click the delete button right here, right, we have the ID, right? That's what we want here. Great, we have the ID, and next thing is basically we are going to create the route. So here inside the upload folder, I'm going to create a folder called ID, right? Because this will be deleted for specific ID. And then inside that, I'm going to do route. Let's do route.ts file. Here we go. In here, I'm going to create a delete function, as you can see, because we are going to make a delete request. Of course, we're going to create delete function. And in here, I've grabbed the request, right? And then the props. So the props in here is basically have params. And then as you can see here, because I create folder called ID, that's why in here we grab the ID and we're using promise in here. Cool. So here, if I do like return a next response, right? And then I'm going to say .json, let's do ID is equals to ID like this, for example. We get this error. The reason is because cannot find ID. Yep. So let's just grab that const params equals to the width props dot params like this. And now we can grab the ID using params dot ID like this. So this is basically the ID that we send on the page right here. As you can see, this is the handle delete. And in here, basically, we are going to make a fetch with delete method, right? So I'm going to copy this and then just paste that like so. But of course, I'm going to send also the ID in here. So I'm going to remove the quote in here. I'm going to say slash and put the variable ID like this. And as you can see, we have this error. The reason is because we have to use a wait in here. Not a wait, but async, right? This function should be async function. And we await in here because we make a fetch. Great. So I'm going to specify the method we're going to use in here is basically a delete, right? Because as you can see on the road, we're using delete function. Of course, the method it should be a delete as well. So let's do delete like this. And what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to say if the respond dot success, right, or maybe respond dot okay is true, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the fetch upload function. So that means the browser is going to be reload and the browser is going to be fetch the new file in here, right? So I'm going to run that like that. So now let's see, I'm going to go through the network and then let's try. I'm going to clean everything. Let's try to click this delete button. And as you can see, it's make a pending right here. And then let's take a look. This is get request. This is the delete request. So as you can see here on the response, we have the IDs equals to the ID. So this is basically the ID that we send. So now what we have to do is just find the right ID on the database. So I'm going to run that on try and catch in here. And inside the try, what I'm gonna do, let's try to run this right here, right? We await for the prisma.upload.find unique. We are going to find the specific ID in here because that's why we're using find unique, where the ID is equals to params.id. So we get the upload value, right? And after that, we're going to delete the data after we get the upload value. The way we delete that is just pretty simple. I'm going to say await, and then I'm going to run the prisma.upload, right? I'm going to say dot delete, and then run this where the ID is equal to params.id, right? This is basically we'll find the specific data, and this basically will delete that specific data. And also I'm going to add some validation in here, like if there is no upload, that means if user send a wrong ID, right? If there is no upload, what I'm going to do is let's just try to send the next response.json error file not found, and the status is 404. And then finally, we're going to make sure that the next response down here, it should be success to true, right? I just want to remove this one because this is just for example. So if something wrong happened, what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste this return in here. As you can see, it just return next response.json error file to delete file, and the status is 500. But as you can see, this is basically just delete the data on the database, right? This is not really delete the file on the upload things. So the way we delete the file on upload things is, let's go back to upload things. I'm going to go to docs, right? This is the better place that we find anything. So I'm going to find a delete files, right? This one right here. So the way we delete file is we're going to use UtAPI. So we're running the UtAPI.delete file and paste this ID right here. So what is this? So this is basically, let's scroll down, file key, right? So to grab the file key, you can just click in here, and as you can see here, copy file key. But I believe that on the core.ts right here, we don't get any file key in here, right? As you can see, we just grab the file.name, file.us, UFS URL, file.type, file.size. We don't grab the file dot key, right? File dot, what is the name? File key, file key. We don't get that from here. So because we are going to add new field, of course, we are going to update the schema.prisma in here. We're going to add another field. So I'm going to paste the file key right here, right? File key set equals to string, right? The type is basically string. Because we update the type right here, of course, we are going to run the npx prisma generate, and then we run the npx prisma db push as well. So let's do npx prisma db push like this. So as you can see, we have this warning because this is basically the default value doesn't have file key. As you can see, this one right here doesn't have file key, right? So I think it's fine. I'm going to do -force force reset. So this basically will still adding that new field. So let's try to see npx prisma studio, right? Let's take a look the result. As you can see, now the data is gone, right? But now we have the file key right here. Because the data is gone, it's better that I also want to delete this file as well. So I want to have like a same file or data with my uploading dashboard and also in my dashboard. So now everything is clean, right? Cool. And then what we have to do next is let's go to the core.ts file that we create. And then now we have to, as you can see, we have this error because we don't specify the file key right here, right? I'm going to do that in here. File key set equals to file.file key, I believe. Or I think we can specify a key, right? The name is key. Cool. So we have the file key set equals to file.key. Great. We are going to run this right here, the UtAPI, right? So where is that? Where is the UtAPI? This one right here. We're going to run this. So let's go back to the road, right? The road of the delete right here. And then I'm going to run this UtAPI set equals to new UtAPI. And I'm going to import that from the uploading/server. And then the way we delete that is just pretty simple. I'm going to delete the file on the upload things before I delete the data on the database. So that's why I want to put that on the top right here. After I delete on the upload things, I delete on the database, right? Before we try to delete the file, I'm going to make sure that on the page.tsx in here, on the handle delete function, I put this confirmation. So this is basically the default confirmation from the browser. That means if the confirm is false, it basically will return nothing. So let's try. Here let's try to first see the dashboard on the upload things is empty, right? On the Prisma, it's also empty. So let's see, drag and drop this image right here, right? The red car. I'm gonna click upload, and then hopefully this is success. Let's see, right? 80% and then 100%, pretty nice. And then great, we have this image right here, right? And then on the upload things, if I refresh that, we should see the data, right? The file, pretty cool on the Prisma database here. And also we have the data, and also right here we have the file key, right? This is the key that we need to have for delete the file. So let's go back in here. Now, as you can see, if I click cancel, nothing happened, right? Let's try to click OK. This basically will delete the file, and then we'll fetch the new data. As you can see now, this is empty, right? If I go to upload things, if I refresh that, the data should be gone. As you can see, it's empty. That means it's successfully deleted. Go to the database. If I refresh, now it's also deleted, right? This is pretty simple how to delete the file. So yep, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.